I'm glad you could join us this morning. I'm glad to have you as part of our time together. You know what, folks? These are challenging times that we're living in today. And I believe that never before in my lifetime have decisions that we make for our life been as important as they are today. And it seems like that no matter where you turn right now, we are under siege. And for me, and this is not you, this is me talking to you, I think we are under siege on four fronts. It began with this Corona-19 virus that almost out of nowhere came. And that virus has created a time of uncontrollable, unpredictable, a time of unknown, a time of uncertainty. And it seems like that we really don't understand this virus. But we do know this, it has created a tremendous amount of unrest in our country. I think we're under attack on a second front, and that's with the protest. You know, it began with a cause that I believed in. Because what happened to the gentleman in Minnesota should never have happened to anyone. And the protest began with, I think, a very legitimate purpose. But it seems like today that it's escalated. And the purpose where the emphasis was on the fact that, you know, lives matter. And I don't care about skin color. I think all lives matter. And all lives should be respected. But it seems like what started as a very appropriate cause has turned into a very ugly agenda, not by everybody, but by a group that are tending to use this as a way to become self-destructive and to really attack the fiber of our country. That fiber being freedom. And you know, we're going to, on Saturday, celebrate July 4th. Our Day of Independence. And yet it seems like the social unrest that is being created by the minority, not the majority, has created a sense of fear where we don't want to address the issue. There is a point of demands that are being made. And demands never resolve anything. I think there's a third front that we're under siege today, and that's the political arena. I wonder what all of this would be like if it wasn't a presidential election year. And I've sat and I've really thought about that. Because it seems like that everything that is being done today, be it the virus, it's too much politics involved. The protest, too much politics involved. And you know, and I know that when politics get involved, that it really messes everything up. Because politics takes what is and turns it into a war of opinions. And opinions just emphasize disagreement. And the virus should not be a time of politics. The racial tension in this country should not be a time of politics. It should be a time where everybody is together in one agenda. And that is getting us back to being a nation of the people, a nation where we seek results, a nation where we look for resolution rather than conflict. And then I think there's a fourth front where we're being attacked, and that's by the media. And sometimes I think the media is worse than the virus. It's worse than the politics. It's worse than the protest. Because it seems like the media has stepped away from what their real purpose is. And that's reporting truth, getting to the essence of the story, gathering the facts, putting it all together where they can present with clarity and with truth and honesty what's going on. But it's almost like the news media today has their own agenda. And their own agenda is to spread their opinions. And I'll tell you something about opinions I've learned over the years. Most opinions are not about truth. And when you take truth out of the equation, what you do is you create an emotionally reactive society where you start pitting people against each other. This is not a time where we need to be pitted against each other. This is a time where we really need to be working together to come back to the concept of one nation under God, one nation working together to resolve, because there's always going to be issues in our country, but issues don't have to divide. But it takes a spirit of togetherness to do that. If you put these four fronts together, the virus, the protest, the politics, and the media, I see a result. And that result is a lot of unrest. It's there. It's been there for a while. And it's been building. And all of a sudden, the front door came open. And that unrest has come out in a form of anger, in a form of reaction. Why can't we get together and talk? It's also resulted in a lot of fear. You know, I keep coming back to this. I listen, and be honest with you folks, I don't know who to believe. I don't know what to believe. Because there's so much contradiction, and contradictions where there's unrest, where there's confusion, where we're struggling with the unknown, just makes fear greater. And we are a nation of fear today, because everywhere we turn, there's fear. And you put all this together, and it really does create a time of craziness. Don't know about you, but never before have I seen the craziness that I'm seeing in our nation today. Which says to me that never before have we had to pay as much attention to pace. We're moving too fast today. There's not thought being put into what we're doing. Opinions are not about thought. They're about reactions. And reactions do not resolve issues. And things need to slow down. And we need to start thinking. And it seems like that we've lost the rationale to think today. And pace is so important right now, because the faster we move, the more we feed the craziness. Never before do I think patience is as important as it is today. Every time you react and you speed up, we lose patience. And what happens when you lose patience? Do you tend to react? Do you tend to overreact? Do you tend to move from your emotions up rather than your mind down? And this craziness that we're experiencing today has so many people living on the edge. Email after email, phone call after phone call that I'm having. What I'm hearing today is just the lack of understanding, the fear of the unknown, the reaction to the lack of truth. And this craziness has got to stop. You see, when I talk to people today, what I'm hearing is that no matter which way they turn, they're feeling pressure. There's pressure about their job. What's it going to look like? Is it going to come back? Are we going to get back to where we're a society that has a normal flow to it, whatever that means? And people have a right today to feel stressed about work, their job, what it's going to look like. There's also a tremendous amount of pressure when it comes to money. If people aren't working, then people aren't making money. And if they're not making money, how are they going to live? I mean, we can't continue just to keep the printing presses running and building up the national debt. We just can't do that. So we've got to resolve what's going on in this country and get people back to work so they can get back to feeling that they have the finances to live their life. There's also the pressure of family decisions. And family after family has reached out to me about how do we handle this time? Families today are spending more time around each other than they've ever spent. And that's a curse and a blessing. It's a curse because we don't know what to do with that amount of time. It's a blessing because we have the time to really get in touch with each other. But there's dangers in that. There's the pressure of not knowing what is truth and what is fake. Who do you believe? Who do you listen to? And then there's a tremendous amount of unrest and pressure that's going with all of the different protests that are going on. I really believe people have the right to protest. That's a constitutional guarantee, but we don't have the right to be destructive. And so much of what's going on, as I said, began with a pure agenda, but the destruction of the statues and everything that's going on, half of the people don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what's there. They're just reacting. And folks, as much as we try, we cannot erase history because history is the lesson book that we learn from today. Yes, there are parts of our yesterday that were wrong, but we've gone beyond them. And as long as we keep going back to them, we keep them alive and we miss the greatness of what we have today. I think there are some keys right now that we need to put in front of ourselves. First of all, keep your sanity in place. I think it's hard sometimes to remain sane today with all the craziness that's going on. And you can't let the craziness steal your focus. I think another key is emotionally keep yourself from feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, there's a lot of attacks coming at us. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of unrest. But learn to take the deep breath. Learn to look at what is. Take a deep breath and live your life. I think you must focus on what you need to be doing right now. I think that's another big key. There are things that we need to be doing right now. There are things we have time to do that we haven't had time to do. And you need to focus on what you need to be doing right now. And then one big key, slow down. Slow down. Because every time you speed up, you lose your confidence. You lose your calmness. You lose your clarity. And this is why, when it comes to what I want to spend a few minutes with you today talking about, that I think it's critically important that we understand that there is a giant need today for us to simplify our life. So our topic for this morning, keeping your life simply simple. Now, do you think that's challenging? I do, if we're living from the outside in. But when we're living from the inside out, then we're living with a different viewpoint. Because we understand that the only thing that you and I can control right now is our life and what's going on around our life. And rather than living from the outside in and continuing to add confusion to our life, we need to slow down and focus on keeping your life simply simple. So here's our thought. Your life is as simple or as complex as you want it to be. Now, you may challenge me on this, but I believe this. And I think the difference between simple and complex is how are we designing our life? I've been spending a tremendous amount of energy talking to you about that there are two foundations that you build your life on. You build your foundation on belief, trust, and faith, which is the innerness of your life. It's where you have control. Or you build your life on doubt, worry, and uncertainty, where it's where you give the external control of your life. And you're not in control, so you're not responding. You're not looking at your life with the sight plan that you need, but you're looking at your life from the outside in, which is just going to increase more stress in your life. Your life is as simple or complex as you want it to be. Each event of your life, each event contains a decision. That decision means I will, not I'm going to, but I will make a choice. That choice then creates the direction that you take your life. And folks, please hear me say this. That direction is determined by which of the two foundations you base your decision upon. Am I going to base it in my belief, my trust, and my faith in myself, and my ability to bring control to my life? Or am I going to base my decisions in my doubt, my worry, and my uncertainty, where I'm going to give everything else control of our life? And I say this to you again, if you can think of another foundation of choice other than these two, please, please, please let me know. But in working with human behavior, these are the two foundations that I have seen. So can we go inside my dictionaries for a minute? Some terms that are important for our discussion today. Choice, a decision you make that determines the action you will take. Critically important, because you will always make a choice. There's never a time when you don't choose to make a choice. Even if you choose to avoid, that's a choice. And whatever choice you make determines the actions you will take for your life. Complex, a choice you make that takes your life toward confusion. When does your life become complex? When you lose your belief, your trust, and your faith, and you move to your doubt, your worry, and your uncertainty. It makes your life very complex because doubt, worry, and uncertainty are the table you sit at where you feed yourself confusion. Another term, simple. A choice you make that will take your life toward clarity, which is where I can have my calmness, I can have my confidence. And every day, the choices you make are either about simplifying your life or adding confusion to your life. And if you choose doubt, worry, and uncertainty, you're going to get the bad side of stress. The increase in your harmful stress that is a result of you going against what you know is the right choice. You know what doubt does to your life. You know what worrying brings to your life. You understand how uncertainty can paralyze you. But as long as you make the choices that go against what you know is right for your life right now, you're going to increase your bad stress. Then there's good stress. The increase in positive stress that results when you make the choices that simplify the direction of your life. What does that mean? I'm not going to make choices out of my doubt, my worry, and my uncertainty, but I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm going to believe there's a right answer. I'm going to trust that that right answer can be found. And I'm going to have the faith that things are going to get better. And I'm going to be a person in the midst of all of this craziness. I'm going to be a person of strength. Because in strength, I can manage the pace of my life. In strength, I can have the patience to not react, but to respond. Because I do believe, I do have trust, I do have faith that things will get better. So, choices have power. So, understand with me the power of choice. Every choice creates confusion or clarity. Would you agree with that? Every choice creates havoc or healthy decisions. Would you agree with that? Every choice you make creates obstacles or opportunities. It involves weakening or strengthening your life. Conflict or calmness. Every choice you make creates exhaustion or enhancement. Now, look at these with me, okay? Which side are you better at right now? Are you better with the confusion, the havoc, the obstacles, weakening, conflict, or exhaustion? Or right now, are you better with clarity, healthy decisions, opportunity, strengthening your life, calmness, or enhancement? Which are you better at right now? What keeps most from having a simple life? And I'm hearing this, I'm sensing this, I'm seeing this today. Because folks, the simpler your life, the better your life. The simpler your life, the calmer your life. The simpler your life, the more clarity you have. The simpler your life, the easier it is for you to face this time that we're going through right now. But there's certain things that can keep a person from having a simple life. Sameness because of their fear. Fear is a trap that increases your doubt. So many people right now are paralyzed. They're afraid to make any choice without realizing they're making a choice. What is it that will keep your life in sanity and not allowing craziness to take over? Fear is an emotion that, if you give it control, can paralyze your life. It can trap you. What keeps most? Investing in confusion. You lack the personal trust in yourself. And when you lack that personal trust in yourself, what's going to happen? You're going to sit at that table with those 3 plates in front of you. You're going to have that plate that's stacked with doubt, that plate that's stacked with worry, that plate that's stacked with uncertainty. And you're going to lose your trust in yourself. And confusion begins to nibble at your positive spirit and leaves you looking at things through negative emotions. What keeps many? Making decisions strictly on emotions. You see, you and I either live from our emotions up or our mind down. And when you're making decisions strictly on your emotions, you're living from the outside in. And you're not allowing your mind to be the partner it needs to be in your life right now. What keeps many from having a simple life? People's whose opinions they follow. You allow others to define your life and you give them control. And folks, that's what's happening right now. One of my great concerns is that we're moving from being individuals to being a herd of sheep. We're being fed opinions and we don't challenge them. And because we live from the outside in, what happens? Those opinions strengthen our doubt, our worry, and our uncertainty. It just adds to our confusion. It adds to our craziness. And it just makes us sheep looking for a shepherd. And too many of the shepherds right now are involved in a world where they want to take away our individuality. And they want to steal our right to have a simple life. And they want to control. So much of what's happening right now is about 2 things. It's about power and control. And we can't give those away. We can't become sheep. What keeps many from having a simple life? Letting go of yesterday. The hurt and pain of yesterday owns your today. Isn't this a big part of what we're experiencing? Is with all the progress that's been made in this country, there's still people who want to go back and use yesterday for their agenda for today. And rather than looking for resolution and ways that we can turn yesterday to a reference library that we can pull from, and the wrongs of yesterday, and there are wrongs in yesterday, we can turn around and we can use those wrongs as a platform to make sure we don't continue to repeat them. What keeps many? Exhausted from disappointment. Disappointment writes a message that says, this is it. And I don't want to be a person that says, this is the future of our country. I just will not do that. I don't believe this is the future of our country. But in order for it not to be, we've got to learn to breathe. We've got to learn to strengthen our foundation of our belief, our trust, and our faith. And we've got to be willing to look for resolution, not reaction. I'm going to tell you something. Disappointment can be one of the most exhausting emotions you ever deal with. Because disappointment is an emotion that steals from you. It steals desire. It steals determination. It can control decisions. And if we want to simplify our life, we can't live through disappointment. It's just too exhausting. So I believe that you can take everything there is in life. And when it comes to making a choice, I believe that there's one question, not a multitude of questions. Too many questions being asked today. And the questions are not seeking facts. They're expressing opinion-generated emotions. And if we just learn that you can take every situation, every choice in life, everything that you and I are going to deal with, everything we're going to be confronted with, and we could boil it down to one question. And that one question is a foundational question that can pull us together. What's that question? Before you say yes to anything, you take a deep breath. Deep breath slows you down. And you ask, will this decision feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? Folks, if you go back to that choice chart that I put up, the whole left side was about confusion. The right side was about clarity. And every day, every choice that we make takes us down one of two paths. I'm either going to feed the confusion, and as I feed the confusion, I feed the doubt, the worry, and the uncertainty. I'm going to strengthen my clarity, which builds on my belief, my trust, and my faith. Every decision you have in your life can be answered with this one question. Now, here's the challenge with this question. You got to be honest in your response. It hurts me to say this, but it is a belief that I have. Give me 10 people. Ask them this question. 7 of those people will choose confusion as their pathway to choice. 7 of those 10 will choose the pathway of confusion to direct their decision. Why? Because people hide in confusion. In confusion, there's not accountability. There's blame. There's justification. There's reasons. There's excuses. Where in clarity, there's accountability. In clarity, I have to be responsible for my life. And you're never going to resolve anything. Your life will never be simple if you live in confusion. Because if there's always something to blame, if there's always an excuse, if there's always a justification, it's never you, it's everybody else. And confusion will keep us from resolving. Can you see the power in this question? Will this decision feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? Can you see the power in the question? Can you see how anything and everything you have put in front of you can be answered by this question? I promise you, this one question can resolve so many things in your life. But it's a question that you can't race through. It's a question that demands that you slow down, that you look at what's happening in your life from your mind down, not your emotions up. It's a question that demands that you be honest and not play a game with yourself. This one question is the question, the foundation to simplifying your life. So, I want to suggest to you, there are 6 steps to making your life simply simple. And folks, if there's ever been a time when we need to be focusing on simplifying our life, it's right now. If there's ever been a time when we need to be managing the pace of our life, it's right now. If there's ever been a time when we need to believe, trust, and have faith in ourselves, it is right now. 6 steps to making your life simply simple. Number 1, start with facing where your life is right now. This is where it has to start. And this takes a willingness to be totally honest with yourself. It means you've got to acknowledge that there are things you need to address. And you need to have those 3 seconds of courage to start addressing them. If you live in fear, you're going to live in doubt, worry, and uncertainty. And that's going to keep you from facing where your life is right now. Yes, we're in a time of uncertainty. Yes, we're in a time of the unknown. But it doesn't mean we have to lose the foundation of our life. Where is your life right now? What do you need to be facing right now that allows you to be able to control your life? The simple keys to facing your now: keep your life at a manageable pace. What we talked about when we started. Slow down. Don't let the fear of the unknown. Don't let the doubt that's coming at us from all different levels. Don't let the opinions of others keep you worrying. Keep your life at a manageable pace, which means start with facing where your life is right now. Entertain new ideas that challenge your thinking. You and I both know that when we get to the other side of this new abnormal, life is not going to look like it did. The terrain is going to be different. We're going to have to make adjustments, which means we're going to have to adapt, which means we're going to have to realign some of the things about our life. So right now, what do I need to be thinking about? What do I need to be adapting in my life right now? What is this new abnormal teaching me? How can I make these adjustments and start the process of adjusting right now and not wait? How do I realign my life right now so that I am prepared and I'm not going to wait until they blow the whistle and go all clear to think about this? You got to start facing your life where it is right now. You must be moving from today to tomorrow. Adapting means standing in today, looking at where I am, and what do I need to be honest about that I know I need to improve? And in that improvement, then how do I make the adjustments? And then how do I align my life around adapting and adjusting? You can't be frozen in today. Embracing change as the road to improvement. Your life is not going to look the same. There are going to be changes. And whether you want them or not, there are going to be changes. Now, you're either going to fight those changes, or you're going to understand that as I adapt, adjust, and realign myself, I'm preparing my life to improve. But to do that, everything in your life, if you're going to make your life simply simple, you've got to start with facing where your life is right now. Number 2, invest your time in cleaning up the clutter in your life. You know my views about clutter. You know that I think that clutter is an emotional disease that can kill you. It can kill you mentally. It can kill you emotionally. It can affect you physically. It can weaken your foundation spiritually. Clutter is not something that you can just avoid. But the challenge with a lot of people is they don't know what to do with clutter. Why? Because their life has been invested in creating clutter. They have become a collector, not a cleaner. And when clutter becomes your lifestyle, you can justify having the clutter in your life. This is one of the reasons that our next small group retreat of 15 people is built upon decluttering your clutter. Folks, if there's ever been a lesson you need to learn, it's how to declutter your clutter. I can say this to you because I know how truthful it is. 99% of all dysfunctional behaviors in your life are the result of clutter in your life. Now, does that make clutter dangerous? Anything you don't confront has emotional continuation in your life. Clutter is the byproduct of you allowing all of these dysfunctional behaviors to take control of your life. If you address, if you learn to control, if you learn how to keep from collecting and start cleaning your life, you will be simplifying your life. So the simple keys here for cleaning up clutter: keep committed to completing what you start. Anything you start in any form that you don't complete is clutter. Now, do you think clutter can create frustration, disappointment? Do you think clutter can affect motivation? Anything you don't complete creates clutter. Execute a plan of personal organization. Before you start, put together a plan that's going to take you from A to Z. But understand that you need to come back and making sure that the plan you put in place has not been affected by the change in the terrain, where you're going to need to adapt the choice, adjust, and maybe realign the direction. Key: you must see clutter as an enemy and a thief. It is an enemy to your life. Stacks become a no-no. Before you stack, look at what you're doing. So our second key: invest your time in cleaning up the clutter in your life. Promise me something. Promise yourself something. Go to retreats.richardflint.com and look at what we're going to do with the clutter retreat. Look at it. Number 3, make time for yourself. Big challenge with a lot of people: they have time for everybody in their life except themselves. Did you know that when there's no time for you, it weakens your belief, your trust, and your faith in yourself? Do you know that? And it strengthens your doubt, your worry, and your uncertainty. The less time there is for you, the more frustrated you will become with your life. Some of you know this to be truth. You have to be at the top, not the bottom. You got to be at the top of your own personal priority list. That will make your life simpler. You have to make time for yourself. The simple keys to making this time for yourself happen. Keep no as an option. It's okay to say no. When someone's wanting to steal life from you, it's okay to say no. Key, exclude people who want to steal time from your life. There are people who are in your life who are simply there to steal life from you. Don't feel guilty by saying no to them. Hey, don't fear letting go of them. It's your life. And if there's no time for you, it is no longer your life. It becomes that time on this earth that you allow other people to control you. Yearning for me time becomes a reality. Having time for yourself is not an option. And right now, more than ever before, you need that personal room. You know my 4 rooms: business, family, social, and personal. And that personal room is where you go to be by yourself. Right now, more than ever before, you need that time so you can look at where your life is. You can understand what your life has been, and you can put together a plan of what you want your life to look like on the other side of this new abnormal. All of this says one thing: sense how precious time is. You only got so much of it. It does have an expiration date to it. What you do with your time is your choice. So you need to make sure that in the choice process you do, there's time for you. And folks, that's not being selfish. That's being productive. It's not selfish. It's you preparing your life. So key number 3, make time for yourself. Look at number 4. Pause when you feel your life is becoming overwhelmed. You know when that is. Pace and patience are such an important part of simplifying your life. Let them be a big part of how you address each challenge you face. This will allow you to breathe. I'll tell you something. The more you learn how to breathe, the simpler your life becomes. And this is where this question really comes to play. Is this decision going to feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? If it feeds your confusion, you've put your life on a pathway to becoming overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you're out of control. When you're overwhelmed, you can't see yourself completing anything. When you're overwhelmed, all you're doing is living in that world of doubt, that world of worry, that world of uncertainty. So the simple keys to keeping your life from becoming overwhelmed: keen sense of your emotional level. Where am I? Am I living from my emotions up or my mind down? Who is in charge of my life? Enhance your learning about you. And during this time of this new abnormal, what are you learning about you? Where are you seeing that you can improve? What are you seeing that you really need to be focusing on right now? You take control of your life. When your life is out of control, you're walking the path to being overwhelmed. When you can't say no, you're walking the path to being overwhelmed. When you feel yourself beginning to become overwhelmed, stop. Look at your life. Look at the situations in your life. Look at the decisions they're demanding. and ask yourself, as I face these, is this decision going to feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? You need to stay on the side of clarity. Then back to staying at a manageable pace. The faster your pace, the sooner you will become overwhelmed. Look at number 5. Let go of the wrongs of yesterday. You can't erase yesterday. And I wish people would understand this today. You cannot erase yesterday. You can deny it. You can use it as justification for what you feel is wrong today. But in the aspect of yesterday, there are lessons, there's positive, there's growth. You got to understand the real purpose of yesterday. It's a reference library filled with positive lessons you can draw from. It's a part of your freedom trail. When yesterday is used correctly, it really does become a big part of simply simplifying your life. So the keys of letting go of the wrongs: keep your successes in sight. What have I taken from yesterday that's made me successful today? How do I take those lessons and continue to improve on them? Because every step you take in success opens up another lesson to keep that success a growth part of your life. Expect the good, the bad, and the ugly, but focus on the good. I would venture to say with any of us, if we went back to our yesterday, there are things in our yesterday that are bad. There are probably behaviors in our yesterday that were ugly. But yes, in our yesterday, there's also good. Let go of the bad. All that can do is make you worse. Let go of the ugly. You can't change it, but you can learn from it. I can turn any aspect of yesterday, bad and ugly, into good when I face it and see how I can use that to improve my today. But if I'm looking for justification, reasons, and excuses, blame, then what am I going to do? I'm going to keep staring and talking about the bad and the ugly, and I'm going to use that to justify my life today. In any event that was bad or ugly, when you find the lesson of improvement, it becomes good. Yesterday becomes your library of lessons. There's always the lesson. Stay centered on improving your talents. You got talents, but you got to believe in them. You got to trust yourself. You got to have faith that your talents will allow you to bring value to yourself and other people. And I got to take my talents. I got to find my stage. And I got to work to improve who I am, because I want to be better. I want to be smarter. I want to be stronger in my life. And then step number 6. Enter every day prepared to have a simply great day. Do you think that's possible? You know, I make phone calls to my Morning Minute people. And so many times I hear how the Morning Minute to people they use as preparation for their today. And they can take that 60 seconds and they can use it to build a site plan for today. And that's what we have to do. If you start your day filled with the negatives that are out there today, you're not going to have a simply great day. because you're going to become one of the sheep. But if you enter your day prepared to have a simply great day, then you can become the leader of your life and have a powerful effect on other people's lives. You got to realize that every day will present you with challenges to deal with. But you must look the challenge straight in the face and find the pathway to clarity. It's there. And when you find that pathway to clarity, it makes every decision you have to make simpler. So the keys for preparing for your day, keep focused on living from today to tomorrow, not from yesterday to today. Expect this to be a day of achievement. Man, I expect every day to learn something. I expect every day to achieve something. I expect every day that day is there to help me become better, to become smarter, to become stronger with my life. You enter your day emotionally calm. I'm going to go to my day living from my mind down, not my emotions up. And I'm going to start my day with a purpose. And I want to take that purpose. I'm going to create an agenda. I'm going to commit myself to that plan, and I'm going to walk forward looking from today to tomorrow, not from today to yesterday. Start your day with a positive purpose and a plan. Now, here's a little gift for you. My book, Making Your Life Simply Simple. This is the inner depths of what we've been talking about this morning. And folks, when I released this book, it sold out the first printing in basically somewhere around 14 to 20 days. I have people who in business who give this to their customers as a gift because they see the power in this of helping people to have a simple life. Not live in confusion, but making decisions that make them stronger with their clarity. And you'll see there that the book normally will list for $14.95. But I'd like to offer you a copy of this book for $7. And to receive your copy, all you got to do is go to my website, richardflint.com, click on the tab that says Shop, and then the Flint Shop, and scroll down to the books, and you'll see it right there. And you need a copy of this, because during this time of all of this confusion, this will give you a platform to calm yourself down. It's an easy read, and it will help you to understand how to not give into confusion, but simplify your life. And there, while you're with the books, look at my dictionary bundle that I've offered you. All three of my dictionaries, which are normally $19.95, all three of them for $19.95, and you get all of them, all three of them. And these are important because these are taking terms that we use every day in building a positive definition of life. And then I've been talking to you about my 47 messages that I have created for today. I've gone through everything I've done. I've picked out 47 MP3s that I've done that are designed to bring you strength today. And rather than them being $39 a piece, $9 each. And there's where you go, richardflint.e-junkie.com. They're all right there. Take a look at them. And then mark your calendars. Tomorrow is our Friday webinar, and our theme is going to do, what do you fear most? Which I think is a very apropos topic for today, and why. So just join me in the Zoom classroom. We have seats for 100 people. And join us as we come as both student and teacher. Talk to anyone that's been coming to the class, and what you see is the power. As one gentleman said, this is more than just information. This is motivation. listening to how other people are handling the experiences in their life, and me realizing I'm not alone. There are other people just like me out there struggling, and we can learn from each other. And then our clutter retreat, October 1 through 4. Just go to retreat.richardflint.com. Please, please, please take a look at this. And then, we've postponed our final Star Maker to next year, July 9, 10, and 11. Our theme is because I can, I will. So our simple conclusion: you are exactly in your life where you want to be. If you did not want to be there, you would not be there. You're there because of the choices you've made. You've either chosen to feed your confusion or strengthen your clarity. And folks, I tell you, if you really didn't want to do there, you would do whatever it would take to remove the confusion and implement the keys to making your life simply simple. It is your life. It is your choice. It is your design. So why not stop choosing the wrong foundation for your life? You can make your life simply simple. And right now, more than ever before, you need to breathe. You need to slow down. You need to come at your life from the inside out. Don't become one of the sheep, but be the individual that God placed you on this earth to become. It's your life. I hope if your schedule will let you, you'll join me tomorrow, 10 a.m. for our Zoom classroom. These are a lot of fun. And boy, I tell you, there's a lot of conversation that goes on because it's not me talking. I'll lay out the theme of the morning, but then we open the mics and everybody gets to talk. And some phenomenal sharing has gone on. And if you haven't experienced it, come be a part of our class. Thanks. Thanks for allowing me to have this time in your life this morning. You have a great day. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm here for you. And anytime you need me, Richard at richardflint.com. Great day, folks.